Then there's another thing that for me is important. I mean, the claims by all manner of people about the monetization of politics and so on cannot be ignored. I mean, we've seen all the videos. Can you ignore them? We can't. Now, the last videos that you played were particularly interesting. You know what's interesting about that? Party executives, the leaders of the party, go to a primary to choose a candidate. And we get reports that these leaders take inducements, money and so on, before they vote for particular candidates. Now, when you have gone to the primary and you, the leaders, have taken money, how do you then go to the community and ask for votes for the candidates you have chosen without paying money? You took. One of the guys said, look, they took as much as 15,000.
Yes.
Okay? To vote for the candidate. Now, you've gone and taken 15,000 to vote for the candidate. You brought the candidate for us to vote, and you expect that we will not take anything at all. So the monetization of primaries itself has become a major problem, which needs to be addressed. Then there was a woman hawker who said that as for her, she's not demanding too much. All she wanted was just what she would eat for the day. You understand? She thought she was being very reasonable. Just give me what I'm going to eat for today, and I will vote. But then they make the point, all of them make the point, that look, these politicians, we've come to know that when you vote for them, that's the end of the game. They won't mind you, they won't build your roads, they won't do anything for you. So if you have an opportunity to collect a few CDs today, at least that is something that we are getting out of politics. Now, if all our people get out of politics, it's a few CDs on the election day, then our politics has collapsed. That is a complete failure. Then the democratic experiment has not worked. And I think it's important that we take note of that. But Randy, the money is a problem enough. But what about the allegation that a political party was actually distributing marijuana? What about that? Because as far as I know, the consumption of that substance is still illegal, as far as I know. I remember that in the 1960s, Professor Fishin of the University of Ghana, the psychology department of the University of Ghana, launched a massive campaign for the legalization of marijuana. I know that it has been legalized in many countries and so on. I understand that. But I sat down in Ghana, only when they get high, that they can help rig elections. What does that mean? Get high and help rig elections. What does that mean? I am really horrified by what has happened in Ejisu. You know, the other one has to do with our good friend. I mean, he serves this platform with us, Honorable Kingsley Nyako, Member of Parliament, who allegedly gave a bribe to some officials of the Electoral Commission. Of course, we've heard him. He has denied vehemently that he didn't offer any bribe at all. And the matter has not been investigated yet. So I think perhaps we need to wait and get the...
The AC issued a statement. They said they had withdrawn those two.
Yes, and they referred the matter to the police for investigation. I'm fully aware of that. But you see, part of the story is that he went to that particular polling station and asked the officials whether they have eaten. Said no. And he gave them this money for lunch. Now, if that is the story, there's a whole lot wrong with that conduct. Okay. Now, fortunately for us, we have a video which has not been denied. Nobody has said that the video was doctored. And we see him dropping an envelope on the table. The video does not show the contents of the envelope, so we cannot say for sure whether it was money or it was the marijuana which allegedly was also packaged in envelopes and so on. We can't say. We can't even say whether the envelope was empty. But of course, the question to ask is that who would be dropping empty envelopes on tables for people? It doesn't make a lot of sense to be dropping empty envelopes on tables for people and so on. Now, I do hope that the envelope is in the possession of the law enforcement agencies and that in good time we will get to know what the contents were. And there will be a better explanation as to why.
I'm told it was for lunch.
That's what we have been told, and I've repeated that. But you see, issues have been raised about how election officials are selected. I've read the statement by the Electoral Commission, which attempts...
So first of all, the Electoral Commission itself deems that act, even if it's not, even if it doesn't constitute bribery, they deem it as unethical.
Of course.
And that's the reason why they withdrew them in the first instance and asked the police to investigate.
Yeah. But the point I'm making is that the Electoral Commission, if you read the two statements that they have issued so far, attempts to distance itself from the officials.
Yes.
By claiming that they are temporary employees.
It doesn't matter.
Does it matter whether they are temporary employees or employees? They are acting on behalf of the commission.
They are EC officials.
They are EC officials. So whether they are temporary or not is not the issue at stake at all.
You recruited them, you trained them, you deployed them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you see, if this were an isolated incident, perhaps the EC may be forgiven. It is not an isolated incident. I've seen a video of a presiding officer at an election actually declaring himself publicly in front of television cameras that he's an NPP member.
That was in Yendi.
Yes.
Yes.
Publicly.
They've not issued a statement on that.
Publicly declaring his affiliation or allegiance to the NDC. So when people raise questions about the neutrality of some officials of the EC, there's a basis. Now, it's even
in that case, that person is not a temporal staff.
No.
Yes.
Okay. But beyond that, is the appointment of at least one card-bearing member, self-proclaimed communicator of the NDC, as a commissioner. People ought to be worried. We can play the video.
It's on his CV. There are videos where he represented the MPP, and it's on his own political CV. I don't even know why you are raising issues about that. There is more than enough evidence. Do you want to see some?
No, play the video.
No, do you want to see some?
This is the first time you self-proclaimed. That's why I was alarmed. I can self-proclaim. I'm MPP.
Yeah.
But if you say it's references to CV and things, I get you.
No, self-proclaimed. Actually speaking, is recorded video, not audio, video. Proclaiming his allegiance.
The clarification is essential.
Yeah. and this person is a commissioner. So how can anybody have confidence in the Electoral Commission?
It's the representative of the president.
How can anybody have confidence in the commission? And then to top it up, was it this week or last week? The Electoral Commission issued another statement which nearly killed me. That statement which says that former President John Mahama has always been attacking the commission. Even though during his tenure, appointments were made to the commission, and the holders of that appointment were NDC and so on. I mean, my goodness. That statement clearly, without any ambiguity, accepted the claim that there's a bias against the NDC. And it doesn't stop there. There's another Electoral Commission official who publicly actually made the statement that the National Democratic Congress is a threat to the democratic experiment in this country.
That's Dr. Bosman, sorry.
You know, so every day we are getting statements, we are getting indications which accentuate the perception of bias of the commission. And I'm getting worried. I'm getting really worried about these developments. You know. So the commission ought to do itself some good, you know. It ought to do itself some good by not only appearing to be independent, but making efforts to be independent. Because right now, based on many things that have happened, the independence of the commission has been dented or shattered as a result of these irresponsible statements which are made by officials of the commission and by acts of officials of the commission and so on. We are getting increasingly worried, you know, about the neutrality of the commission.